Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Driver, and welcome to a bonus episode of the Drive Program podcast. A couple episodes ago, I had Blasé on the show, and we had a deep talk about a lot of interesting subjects. We were talking for almost 3 hours, and we both had some free time, so we decided to record a somewhat fun episode. We talked about the Grammys, and we both listed our favorite in each category and our prediction in each category. I tried to create timeless episodes that you can return to in a couple years and still learn something or get something out of. But unfortunately, after the Grammys air, this, is not the kind of episode you're going to want to return to in a couple years. So because of that, I'm probably going to take it off of the audio only platform. I'm going to leave this video up on our YouTube channel. I think this is kind of more of YouTube type of content and more of a YouTube style podcast because me and him are just hanging out. So if you're ever trying to look for this episode in the future and you can't find it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go check our YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, Blasé is an artist, so this gave me a pretty cool opportunity to talk to someone about the Grammys who actually had spent some time making music themselves. So if you want to go check out Blasé's music, his latest single was called Friends with No Benefits. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, all of the streaming platforms, and I'll provide a link to that in the description below. We talked about this on our previous episode. He's been working with a couple different people to put together their own festival. It's called the Lemon Zest Fest, and it's going to be in Silver Spring, Maryland on June 11th. He's been working on it for a long time, and he's been very excited about this festival. So if you're in the area, definitely go check it out. I'll provide a link to that in the description below. We recorded this the day they released the nominations, and then they pushed the Grammys back for months. So this is a long time ago. And because of that, I feel like our predictions are a little bit dated. Like, for instance, I put Kanye down as my prediction to win some Grammys, and he's not even allowed to perform anymore because of some social media drama, so I probably wouldn't predict him today. The final thing I'll say is if you enjoyed listening to Blasé on this podcast episode, he's actually been on 2 other ones where we have even more serious conversations. So if you have not listened to episode 7 or episode 29, go check that out. So this is it. Me and Blasé talking about the Grammys for an hour. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope that no one punches anyone in the face. Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Tom Driver, and I just recorded an amazing podcast with my friend Blasé. Say what's up.
What's up?
Blasé is a musician, and so I thought to end off our day, we're going to talk about the Grammy nominations and probably post this out as a YouTube clip. I'm going to read off the Grammy nominations for the top 4 categories and some of the hip-hop categories, and then Blasé and I are going to say who we predict will win and who our personal favorites are for each category. Here's the list for Record of the Year, which is production. I Still Have Faith in You by ABBA, Freedom by Jon Batiste, I Get a Kick Out of You by Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga, Peaches, Justin Bieber featuring Daniel Cesar and Giveon, Right on Time by Brandi Charlie, Kiss Me More, Doja Cat featuring Cesar, Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish, Montero, Call Me By Your Name for Lil Nas X, Driver's License, Olivia Rodrigo, Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic. Jeez, that's a hard list.
That's a hard list.
So you got to say what's your personal favorite and which one is your prediction?
Favorite. Okay. Can you read the second half? That first half, I'll admit I don't recognize a lot of those names. The second half, can you just the second half, okay. starting from Happy Ever After.
By the way, I thought the same thing as my choices are going to be in the bottom half. Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish, Montero, Call Me By Your Name by Lil Nas X, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic.
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, personal favorite. The Billie Eilish song, I really like that one. Mm-hmm. I just think it has like a very grungy, like Nirvana-esque vibe to it. Mm-hmm. That obviously you like before that album you didn't hear from her. The like bringing back of a classic era, I think that's really cool. The one that I would pick as the winner is probably, I think Peaches is going to be the winner.
By Justin Bieber?
Because like I said before, one, he's already set up like on a popularity scale to like win that type of thing. But also what I was saying, like I think before we started rolling is I feel like he's kind of like grown into his own voice on that Justice album. And I feel like this was one of the songs that really proved to people that he was at that stage in his like performative career.
So my impression of that Justice album was that he was basically like, it was cringy. Like he was.
You thought it was cringy?
Yeah, so I need to revisit it. Like I only listened to it once, but he was like quoting Martin Luther King and stuff. I just didn't think that it was like his place to be quoting Martin Luther King and talking about justice.
You're talking about like that interlude thing?
Yeah, I guess.
Did he do it in a song? I didn't think he did it in a song.
Well, either way, I just thought it was weird. So it was off-putting.
I do remember that, but at the same time, it's under the lens of me not knowing why it was there to begin with. Like, I mean, obviously the album's called Justice, and you can kind of like infer some things, but yeah. I bet there's like an underlining reason that I might not be aware of. So I didn't judge it yet, but I can see why you were saying, because it was off-putting for me as well. But I'm like, I don't think he's dumb enough to just randomly put it in there without having a really good reason for putting it in there, because he's never done something like that before. So like, it wouldn't. I'm not led to believe he would do it on purpose unless he had a really good reason for it. You know, we were talking about all these things like spirituality, like self-growth and everything. I think he's done all that, and this is kind of like showing you what the end result is. And it just, I think what I like about it is he's very comfortable with himself and like everything he believes in and everything. I think he's very sure of all of that. And I think I hear that in the project.
I did not know everyone liked that album as much as they do. So I'm going to have to go with Driver's License for the one that I think will win. There's this podcast called Keynotes, and it's the same guy who does Dissect, where he analyzes certain songs, and he was talking about this certain pattern or something that is in music that is like really, it like sounds really good when you hear it. It's this rule when it's like 2/3 of the way through the song, something crazy happens, right? It's some philosophy on this. This is actually cool to know. I'll post the episode in the show links, but he basically says that like a lot of songs at this certain moment, like it's about 2/3 of the way through, they go through some big like elaborate like moment, like it climaxes, I guess, the song, and like he used Driver's License as an example of a song that does that, and it right there is when she's like in the car, it's like da da, you know that part where like she's like, I don't know, sad in her car, and it's apparently like the production timing with the lyrics is just like perfect. So I feel like they're, from a technical standpoint, they're gonna give it to that. But my personal favorite, probably Montero, dude. Lil Nas X, like that song slaps.
It does slap.
I like his other song actually better. The one with Jack Harlow.
I like that.
But I still like this song better than the rest of the list, I think. Okay.
It's definitely catchy. I guess maybe I'm very much in like a very live instrumentation zone right now. And so I think the two I picked just now, I think are more in that lane, which is probably why I went with that. But I definitely do like that song. But I also agree with you. I listened to the entire Lil Nas X album, and like there's the one he has with Doja Cat and the Jack Harlow song. I think those two are kind of my favorite from those. This one, I get the controversy around it, but I don't feel like it was his most creative thing he's done. I just think that's what caught wind. And he did it as like a single, so I'm not surprised by it at all. Like he put like, you know, obviously he tried to make it controversial. So like there's no, I definitely don't doubt the quality of the song. It's more like I'd prefer, if it was a different song of his, I might have put that more, like if it was Industry Baby, I might have put it up there. You know, just generally, like I like that entire song. And there's even an extended version with I think a little an additional Lil Nas X verse, and I like that extended version a lot.
Yeah.
But that specific song, I feel like it was more like a clickbaity thing than like I don't know if it stands alone sonically for me personally. Along with the bias of wanting more live instrumentation and stuff. But yeah.
Okay, so album of the year. We Are by Jon Batiste. Love for Sale by Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga. Justice. Planet Her Deluxe by Doja Cat. Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish. Back of My Mind, Her. Montero, Lil Nas X. Sour, Olivia Rodrigo. Evermore, Taylor Swift. Donda by Kanye West.
There's no CLB on there? That's weird.
Dude, Sabrina thought CLB was gonna be there too, and I was like, no. I was like, no. I think Donda will be on the all-time album of the year list, and CLB will not. And I was right.
Well, I'm like not mad at that. I just thought it would be on there.
I'm actually so glad it's not, because
glad.
just because it gets the most damn streams does not mean it's the fucking best album.
That's
the quality of CLB was just not. Those albums I just named were all on a significantly higher quality, and like I feel like people should just see that. Like, come on.
I think it's clear. I think people just need to like get over the hype.
Yeah.
Once that happens, everything that needs to be a slow burn will slow burn.
Okay, so I have my predictions in my head. What do you got?
That was a really tough list because I can see the value that people see in them, and like at least 4 of them, I'm like, obviously people are gonna pick that. I thought that for the Billie Eilish one, I thought that for Sour, and I thought that for Doja Cat, because both of them, I haven't listened to every single one of their projects as a whole, but I've listened enough to know that like those were like the crazy ones. And the Justin Bieber one, like I said, just his status alone puts him in the running.
Dude, this is so exciting. I actually, I thought it would be cool to do this prediction thing, but it's so hard, actually, because, dude, Olivia Rodrigo had a huge year. Oh, my God.
She had, like, 3 songs that, like, owned the charts at one point.
Dude, and that album, it's, like, toxic, weird energy, but, like, bro, it's so good. Like, the production in that album is so top tier, dude. It's so amazing.
See, I do like that live instrumentation feel again, so I'm more inclined to side with her.
And then Billie Eilish's sophomore album, she swept the Grammys in 2019. So like she literally won 4 out of 4 categories. This is a goat. This is a goat in any competition she's in. You should not get your hopes up.
That's
you know?
dangerous. She also like not just music related, just like on social media or something. She broke some like really crazy record. I think she broke like Kim Kardashian's record on like Instagram or something. I don't remember what the stat is, but it was like some photo shoot she did where she got ditched the baggy clothes or whatever.
When she dyed the blonde hair.
Yeah, and like that like broke something on the internet. I know, and I don't know how much that impacted the music, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Donda, I think a lot of people can agree. We talked about like the living and breathing art form, and he definitely like delivered on that.
I'm gonna pick Donda for at least one of my categories, so I'm gonna rant about it when I reveal it.
For sure. I'm trying to think. That's really hard.
Also, dude, Lil Nas X, his debut single, Old Town Road, was the longest charting song on the Billboard Hot 100. Everyone thought he was like a one-hit wonder, and then this album is actually really good. Montero is really good, solid all the way through, and then Doja Cat is like the biggest TikTok star of all time right now.
I was
bro.
just gonna say, yeah,
she's like the biggest. Everyone's obsessed with Doja Cat for some reason. Ladies and gentlemen,
I think she's
Doja
like,
Cat.
you know,
I have that shit stuck in my head, bro. She's so iconic.
Like, you know, like that meme where it's like, get you someone who can do both. I feel like that's why people like her, because I feel like she can be the weirdest person, you know, and also like the most elegant, graceful, and then like everything in between. I feel like she has that versatility that a lot of people are like wanting in people, because like usually when people do too much, I'm looking at Lil Wayne right now because he tried the rock album thing and people shat on him for it because it was like so out of his lane. But I feel like Doja Cat's someone who can kind of do a lot of things at once and be really, really good at it. That being said, she's definitely the one I think will win.
Doja Cat?
Yeah.
Really? So that's your prediction, Doja Cat?
Yeah, but as far as my personal favorite goes, that's really tough. Shit. I know. Okay, so I'll be totally honest. The Olivia Rodrigo stuff, I think it was made very like amazingly in the sense that like everything felt very thought out. I think conceptually though, everything was too much of the same. If that makes any sense. Like I was because my sister likes likes that album a lot, and she
Yeah,
makes me
but
listen.
You could say that was also a very like focused project then too.
Sort of, but
You
like
could say
every song was like not every song literally, but like there was a lot of songs back to back that were like talking about the exact same thing, and I was like, I know like other genres of music do this, but for some reason
See,
when she's doing it, I'm noticing it more. And I was like, I don't know if that's like a female artist thing. I don't know if that's just like the medium in which like the genre she's performing in, which is like that sad acoustic vibe or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I noticed it and it bothered me, and I don't know why.
so I will say though, my impression of that is like all of the lyrics are concentrated from like a single almost emotion or time frame in her life, but I get very much like a solid storyline from this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like Olivia Rodrigo, like I feel like it might be like repetitive, but it's also like I feel like she is displaying like this like story of emotions, and like it's almost like we're getting deeper and deeper into like her mindset throughout the album. So even though it's singular, it does like evolve to me is like she's being more and more like it's like more and more revealing as the album goes on. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh my gosh, this bitch is crazy.
I never picked up on her going like more and more into it, but I'm not against going for a second listen, so I'll definitely keep her open, but I still don't think she would be a top pick for me, unfortunately, for this time around. In terms of my favorite, I'm inclined to say Billie Eilish's again, mainly because I know that Phineas is backing a lot of the production, and they like doing the thing that's the weirdest thing out there. You know what I mean? Like that's like their goal. And now I think her first album had a lot of that, and some of it was very inaccessible. So now I'm trying to do something. I feel like her new album makes it a little bit more like commercially acceptable compared to what it was before. I have a feeling she would be my personal pick, but I'm pretty sure Doja Cat's gonna be the winner.
Random question: what do you like more, Billie Eilish's first album or the second one?
So I think the second one's more raw, and I can appreciate it for that reason. But I think sonically and like commercially, I think her first one was better.
Okay.
Meaning like anyone can turn it on and it's a lot easier to digest, I guess, if that makes any sense. Because like every single song on that was meant, and she definitely spent more time on that album, I think, than the second one. I think it was like two or 3 years or something crazy like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with my options. Ready? I am gonna go. My prediction is Donda, and my favorite is Donda. I'm gonna double down on Donda, bro. Completely. I thought Donda was the project of the fucking year, dude. I thought it was a project of the damn decade, dude. That shit was so good. Like, I felt like it encompassed almost all of hip hop. Like if you think about hip hop, like he has like 23 guest features ranging from like literally like the hottest new artist Baby Keem to like the GOAT Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? And everyone in between. And it's like all of these artists have been like influenced by him over the years, and like he's been building this like religious theme in all of his albums, and it like all just it almost like this giant climax. I think there's a strong story there where he takes you through like these darker emotions, and the production is darker at the beginning of the album, and it's like, you know, he's struggling with some stuff. He starts off in jail, and then there's like this story that progresses, you know, through where like halfway through, it's like there's a song called Remote Control. Like he gives God remote control, and there's kind of like this purgatory in the middle of the album, and then at the end he ends with like Come to Life, and like it's like, you know, it's like very transcendent, you know. And then he had this giant rollout with like 3 different listening parties. He kept changing the track list. Like there was different versions of the song. Like, bro, the song Hurricane didn't even have The Weeknd on it until like a couple days before like it was released. Like it was like, holy shit. Like there was this other guy on it, and like all of a sudden, and that song was already awesome. You know what I'm saying? And at one point it didn't even have little baby on it, and then he put Little Baby on it, and like I watched that song like evolve into like Hurricane. I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like overall, dude, this album was just like phenomenal, I thought.
I agree in the sense that it was phenomenal. I do think I don't think it was overrated. I think he dragged things out for like very probably non-important reasons. That's what I think. And I think So I was by the time it came out, I was very much turned off to the excitement of it because I think he had been saying it was coming out for like a year at that point.
Yeah.
But once it came out, I like really enjoyed it. I didn't know about this whole, like, you were talking about how it starts darker and then works its way up. I didn't even pick up on that. So maybe that might have changed my view on it if I had known about it. But, because generally, I've read something actually that said in all of his songs, he took out the most important aspect of it. He just like took it out. So like every song, or at least some songs, are like missing some like core like instrument or whatever. But he did it to make you question it and make you listen more. So I like enjoyed that little fun fact about it. I also read something that said like Donda, like the Donda chant at the beginning and like the next song line up perfectly with each other. Like he did like some weird stuff like that I just didn't know until later on. But like I think those are things that are like very cool for like I feel like he did a lot of things that I find very cool for a very quick minute, but I like wouldn't harp on it down the line. That's like specific to this album. Other albums of his, I'm like, I get very like excited by the longevity of it in my own mind, because some of them, like, you know, some songs stick with you forever and some don't. You know, I have a feeling there will be a few in that album that stick with me forever, but I don't think all of them will stick with me forever. And that's I think a part of the controversy with the deluxe version. As it is, he already had like part twos to some like songs in the first version. And I think people are like upset because he's like just adding fluff to something that technically didn't really need it. It wasn't condensed and consolidated to like a point where it was like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I felt like it was just like a concept and then like he added some attachments at the bottom, sort of. Like I'm pretty sure there's only a Jail Part 2 because he needed a DaBaby version and a Jay-Z version. Like I don't think there was a need for it otherwise. You know what I mean? So like things like that bother me. It sounds like he was like he couldn't reconcile it with himself, so he just put them both there. One at the beginning of the album, one at the end of the album. And so like little things like that, I don't think it'll bother most people, but that's sort of like my like those random hiccups and inconsistencies. And I'm pretty sure it was like contract related. I'm pretty sure they couldn't get DaBaby's verse cleared or whatever, which is why they didn't have it in the original version and then they added it on later or whatever. Bro. There's like so many things like that.
That's what I'm saying.
It drives me crazy.
What I tell you about is the story behind the art, bro. That's really
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I like. But I like the story behind it, but I feel like the story didn't influence the music enough. That at that point it was just like that specific example was just very contractual. Yeah. And so like that's where I kind of like lose. Like I like the reason why he put like DaBaby on. Like I mean, you know, David, he's had his own dramas recently, but it was like Kanye's reason was because he stood by him even through like the like he had like some controversy with Trump or something, and he like I don't know if you saw those text messages that got like leaked or whatever, but he was like, I don't care if it's going to be really hard or take a really long time to get the verse cleared. This guy stood by me like even when I was trying to like be president or whatever. So like I need him on there. So like it's like a loyalty thing basically. And I'm like I can respect that, but I didn't feel like it translated in the music itself. You know what I mean? So that's my little pet peeve with it. Or not a little, it's a pretty big pet peeve. Because I'm sure there's like a bunch of little details like that. Like even with a part, I'll tell you why a part of it bothers me. Did you see it? I don't remember which radio station, or even if it's a radio station, it's like a podcast-esque thing. But it was like the most recent big thing that Kanye was on. And they were like talking about like, oh, like how cool is it that you like reunited with Jay-Z? And he was like, oh yeah, it's cool. And they're like, what about that line where you like he talked about taking off the red cap and stuff? And he was like, oh, I'm not listening to him. I'll throw him in a group chat and shut him down right now. And I'm like a lot of it's just like I'm like I don't know what's real and what's not real anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there is so much drama and like story behind how things came to be, and some of it like influences the music, and that's the kind of story I like to know about, I guess. Or I'm like that makes the music more enjoyable for me. But his thing on certain things just made me feel like it was very chaotic. You know? So I like his music a lot. Even this album, I definitely like it. I feel like I'm going on like a Donda rant. I'm not. I like the album a lot. I just think it was very chaotic. and for a bunch of different tiny reasons that just bothered me on like very like minute, like on a very tiny level that
No,
probably wouldn't bother people.
I feel like all of that is intentional though, because you said he took out like a core aspect of each song. Well, apparently, he did release a device called like the Donda stem player.
Yeah.
And just like you were saying with like if you look into actual music production, there's usually a couple different layers to it. So the stem has all these different layers. And I think eventually you probably, if you buy the stem player, you'll be able to get those lost sounds that he removed. So
Yeah.
like that's a kind of thing. Like I feel like like the things that bug you, he intentionally did that so that you'll go buy the player. You know what I'm saying? I think
For
10
sure.
years from now we could look back if the stem player becomes really popular over time. Like if people really like messing around with his album and then other albums like that, I feel like he could, like Donna could be like very iconic in his timeline. You know what I'm saying? If he makes a bunch of money selling these little like devices. Like when Pablo dropped, he was trying to sell his shoes, you know what I'm saying? And then over
Yeah.
time, like I think back to like the beginning of the shoes during that album, you know? And so at least has a deal with Adidas, right? And so I don't know. I feel like the stem player, if it sounds really good with those lost pieces, it could create like, and it does catch on. We're talking about like a historic movement, you know? Like
He's doing it. I have no like quarrel with his strategy. I think it's very clever. It's just like I'm very OCD about certain things like that. And like it's like I understand what he's doing. Like everything you said, I'm like, yep, that's definitely what his end goal
Yeah.
is. But like it does get under my skin a little bit because
Yeah.
I'm like, for me, I'm like, what if it was a mistake and he just didn't catch it? Because we've had that happen. Like on our album, like we've like accidentally left things out or like we put something on to try something quickly but we intended to take it out like eventually. We recently found so many mistakes like that got left into the final thing and it's making it so I can't unhear it like when I listen to our album now.
well, he might have updated it, or you can update your stuff.
I mean, yeah, we could, but like, that's like a source of anxiety for me, like having to like like he did it with Pablo, and I think we said he did it in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, whatever. Like that's why he had those events so he could see people's instant reaction and then change it, and then have another show and then change it, and at the same time he's getting like all the attention from it, so it's like promo. And then he's doing that. He's like the way I heard it described is the same way like app development happens, where you beta test what you have, you react to how people respond, and then you go and make refinements.
Whoa.
And I'm convinced that's why he did that in the first place. Like I don't think he was stupid about it. Like the whole process, I'm like it's like an agile work environment.
He's not corporate enough for you, bro. He
He's
doesn't
not.
follow the rules.
He's like, but like he has like. I think that was the thought process. Like,
Yeah.
because he was releasing songs.
It was like
he was
fuck
like
the rules.
performing things. Like we've done that too, not intentionally, but like we had like a pre-album release show a year before the album actually released. That was more because we thought it was gonna be done sooner, and it just wasn't. But like we performed some of this unreleased songs. And because we did it live and we saw how people interacted, we were like, yikes, that's not as cool as we thought it was. We need to go back to the drawing board with that concept or whatever. And we actually did it. That's why it took us an extra year to finish our album. And a lot of people have been on that journey with us the same way people are on the journey with Kanye. So like I am backpedaling now and saying he knew what he was doing, but I still feel like the end result felt very chaotic to me. So I'm very conflicted. The more I talk about it, the more I want to change my answer. But I'm going off my first instinct and saying what I meant to say from the very beginning, and that he would be my runner-up. But I do feel like the reason I said Billie Eilish is because I feel like she puts a lot more thought compared to him and does it in a much more concise manner.
No, there's a lot of friends of mine that are gonna be mad to hear that I did not say Billie Eilish. Sabrina, her sister, like all of her friends, we all get mad hyped over the Billie Eilish album.
Yeah.
Like that was a big deal for me when it dropped, and like it's hard not to pick that for me too, because like Kanye's top 5 artist, Billie is a top 5 artist for me too. She's
It's
for real up
tough,
there. Also, Taylor Swift is in my top 3 most played artists on Spotify right now because my dog is obsessed with Taylor Swift, and so
Your dog?
so if he needs to calm down, I'll just put like some of her albums on for him, and so
Taylor's version or the OG version?
no, it's actually Evermore, and which is
The newer stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Evermore is in Album of the Year running too. So like I feel like that could win too. Like as far as my prediction goes, Taylor is a threat to be reckoned with, man. And Evermore, what was the one right before it? Folklore were both really, really, really good. Like I like them a lot, and so does my dog. And so like I don't know, man. I feel like you should never sleep on her to like take a dub home either. And Kanye and Taylor have like beef, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, that's weird. They're gonna both be there, or
Yeah.
maybe like
Well, they're both in the running.
in
Yeah.
the running. Interesting.
What if Kanye wins and Taylor runs up and she's like, yo, I'm gonna let you finish.
Did you see? I think it was a BET Awards where Jay-Z did that to Kanye when they won for the Throne project that they
really?
did. Yeah, and I thought that was really funny. But you know what? If Taylor does do that, I think they would have planned it out. I remember hearing that they like squashed whatever beef they had, but then because of that famous song on Life of Pablo, like
Yeah.
it like sparked it back up.
Yo, what if she walks up, grabs the microphone, and Taylor Swift grabs it from Kanye after he wins, and she says, I'm gonna let you finish, but Olivia Rodrigo had one of the best albums of all time, and everyone goes crazy, and like the Grammys are like, psych, Kanye, Olivia won.
Oh, man. I don't know about the psych at the end, but I feel like everything else could happen.
Like
I wouldn't
Kevin
be
Hart just
surprised.
pops out of nowhere, and he's like, psych, motherfucker.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, because you know, like they love like you know what that reminded me of? Do you remember when like Bruno was coming out and Eminem was winning an award and he like fell in his like Bruno suit on Eminem and his butt was like in his face and like I was like, oh my god, this is like the hardest like dude getting like some random guy's butt in his face. And I was like, he's gonna get so pissed off. And he looks so pissed off. And I'm like, oh my god, that's such a disaster. Then I found out it was staged, and Eminem is a huge fan of what's his face. What's his real name?
Who?
The guy who plays Bruno in like Borat and all of them.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bruno Mars, dude.
Oh no,
my
like
gosh.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
I was like, I never knew of that. Sacha Baron Cohen, yeah.
So they were like, they were actually like really big fans of each other, and they were friends, and they had planned it.
Whoa.
But that like garnered so much like publicity because they thought it was like an accident, and like Eminem like had like a big freak out on camera, and it was all staged. And I was like, how much of what we're seeing is real or not? But like if that thing were to be like that thing with Kanye and Taylor were to happen, I feel like it would have to have been staged.
What if the Kanye when he took her Grammy really was staged?
I don't. Maybe it could have been. I don't know for sure.
But if it happens the second time, it's definitely staged.
Definitely staged. The first time, I feel like to keep the magic of that moment alive, they would never tell a soul that it was staged.
What if it really was?
It could be. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. But at the same time, I feel like you can't fake the embarrassment that you saw on her face that day when that happened. But she dabbles in acting, so I don't know.
Okay, we got to jump to the next category.
Go for it.
But recap, your answers were
Doja Cat for winner,
yeah, okay, yeah,
Billie for runner, or like personal choice.
yeah. Also, we don't have time to talk about it, but you were a fan of Justice too, so
That was hard.
That is such a rough group of songs.
That's what I was saying. I had to like pick and choose.
Or a group of albums. Okay, so the next category is Song of the Year. So this is for the writing of the song.
Sure.
Bad Habits by Fred Gibson, A Beautiful Noise by Ruby Amanafu, Driver's License by Daniel Negro and Olivia Rodrigo, Fight for You, Dern Emily and Her, Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish and Phineas, Kiss Me More, Doja Cat, Cesar, Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic, Montero, Lil Nas X, Peaches, Justin Bieber, Right on Time, Brandi, Carlile, and we're gonna have a 2-minute cap on the explanations because we've been taking forever.
Okay. I'm going to go with Peaches again for the one I think is going to win. I don't think there's anything super special about the lyrics, but I do think the delivery and like the organization of the grouping of words.
I gotta listen to this on
good.
the way home. We had to listen. To
We
this.
can listen, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know the song, man.
My first introduction to the song was before it came out on like Spotify and stuff, he performed a live version of it on Tiny Desk, and that's why I liked it so much. Honestly, the Tiny Desk version is a lot better than the recorded version in my opinion.
Damn.
But because that was the first time I listened to it, I enjoyed it so much more, and I was able to appreciate it.
Maybe that's why you have a different opinion about that album than I do, because
Maybe.
Yeah.
Honestly, the live stuff changes things. It changes the game a lot. What were the other ones? I think I don't know the lyrics too well on the other ones that you mentioned.
Leave the Door Open, Montero, Right on Time, Kiss Me More, Happier Than Ever, Fight for You, Driver's License, A Beautiful Noise, Bad Habits.
Bad Habits is the Ed Sheeran song, or is that some other song? I heard it was written by someone else. Or, I mean, I saw in there the name of someone else, but I wasn't sure if that was just because he didn't write it or if that's a completely different song altogether.
Wait, which one was this?
The very first one was Bad Habits.
Bad Habits. Ed Sheeran, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, I heard a different name before.
Yeah, well, sorry, they're listing the writers first for some reason.
Okay, so that's what I was unsure.
I said Bad Habits by Fred Gibson. I guess he's the main writer, and Ed Sheeran is listed third in the writing credits. Weird, right?
Okay,
But it is technically Ed Sheeran who would be accepting the award, yeah.
Okay, so not that I was going to pick that. I was just wanting to make sure it was the song I was thinking about. I don't remember the words of that. I think that was intended to be a club song, and I don't think the words were supposed to mean that much. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't pick that.
It can't be that good because I can't remember it right now.
Yeah,
so.
I don't remember.
And I listen to those top songs, so.
I don't even know what the chorus is, and that was like my Bad Habits, something you. I think that's all I remember, and that's it.
I thought Ed Sheeran album was cringe too, just like.
I think it was like.
I got cringe vibes.
I think that's dad vibes creeping into the music. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'll go with my runner-up as being Billie Eilish again.
Okay.
No explanation. Just I felt it when she sang what she sang in that song.
So wait, was Billie Eilish your prediction or your favorite?
My favorite. Prediction was the Peaches song.
Peaches prediction, Billie. Okay. So my prediction has got to be Happier Than Ever. I feel like this is a epic. Like this song is like the epic of her album, right? And it's like she's a top tier, like in her lane, sophomore album, fantastic writer, just like flexing all over this with the lyrics. Like it's so well written, it's so well produced, but like the songwriting itself, like very like vivid imagery, and like I just think it's like you're seeing an artist at the top of their game, like on this song. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like the album as much as the last album, but I feel like this song in particular is like technically like fantastic. You know what I'm saying?
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like other songs more on her album, but I feel like objectively speaking, like there's almost no one alive right now who can write as well as her and Phineas when they work together on something like that. Like there's no one. My favorite, I actually would say would be Lil Nas X, Montero. I think the lyrics are really good in that song. I feel like that actually speaks for like a generation. Like I feel like there's a lot of like people who are like homosexual or something, and the kind of energy that he's putting into that song represents maybe how a lot of people feel, you know?
That's fair.
And I feel like the music video was flashy and stuff like that, and maybe everyone focused on like the devil thing in the music video, but I feel like the first time I heard it, it was not the music video, and I was like, whoa, the song is amazing. And then I saw the music video, so I think that affected the way I like enjoyed the song. And the first time I heard it, I was like, whoa, these are really good lyrics, you know?
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think the message is good. I think I honestly don't know the words by heart except for like the hook, I guess. But like it didn't like, and maybe it's just because I can't relate to what he's saying as much, but like I'm going more based on like if I remembered majority of the words, there's probably a reason for that, and that's kind of how I'm going that's how I'm basing some of these answers.
Okay.
In terms of how much of it I can, because like I'm familiar with most of these songs, but like only the ones that I know, like not even like consciously trying to care about, but like subconsciously, if you know what the lyrics are to it, clearly that resonated with you somehow, you know? So I'm kind of like using that as like my first impression, first hunch kind of thing.
I'll show you in the car on the way back. We'll add that to the list. Okay, we got to move to the best new artist. Afro Aftab, Jimmy Allen, Baby Keem, Phineas, Glass Animals, Japanese Breakfast, The Kid Laroi, Arlo Parks, Olivia Rodrigo, Saweetie.
What was the last one?
Saweetie. It's like her name's like
Oh,
Sweetie.
right.
It's like
Okay.
Sweetie, but
Yeah.
it's spelled with an A.
Okay. Does she have more than one song that's doing well?
I like a lot of her songs, but I think I'm more of a deep cut fan. I don't think like popularity wise, no.
Okay. I think who will win is Olivia Rodrigo. I'm reluctant to say it because I've
That's my answer.
explained
That's my answer too.
I explained why, but I do think she'll win that.
Actually, I want to. Since you said that, I want to go on record by saying I, without a doubt, would bet $1,000 she wins this category. She has to. Come on, like
I wouldn't be surprised.
she has to. She was definitely the best. Like, come on. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. If it's anything else, I'll be so not mad, but confused. That is not the prediction. If it's anybody else,
I'm with you on that. I think that'll happen. The kid Leroy, I think, will be the one. That's how you say it, right? Leroy.
Yeah.
I think he would be the one I pick.
he'd be the second. Yeah.
I've only heard a handful of his stuff, but I feel like he has like what a new artist should have. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know what about it. Maybe it's like some raw element of how his music sounds to me, but like I feel like he has that. And I
Yeah.
feel like he's worked with the right people to like elevate himself, especially in this past year. Like
Yeah.
the biggest one is the Justin Bieber thing, but like I'm pretty sure I can't remember who it was, but he had some SNL performance where he performed with someone very important, and I can't remember who it was. But like he set himself up career wise to like do really well.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a really good career.
Yeah.
I feel like it's unfortunately a little too early for him. I feel like he's really gonna pop in like a year or two.
Yeah.
But like I do agree that this is someone to keep on your radar. Is like gonna be around for a while.
I first saw him with when like in the Juice World era, I guess, when he because I think they were tight at one point. Like I think I don't know if he brought him into the music scene or whatever, but like that's kind of what my first exposure to him was. And I didn't really know him that well then either. It's more like after he kind of started popping off this past year that I kind of like looked back at some of that and could appreciate it. So it's like I like artists like that. Like I was talking to a friend recently and he was like, "Do you think quantity over quality matters when you're like a new artist or whatever?" And I was like, if you only have like one really, really good song, people might like it, but they have nothing else to like confirm that they're going to be a fan of you for a long time. But if you have one really, really good song and then they go to your like music page or whatever, and then you have a whole catalog to get into, then that's so much more exciting for someone who's trying to be a fan. And then like, you know, if they like your music, they like your music, and then you get a new fan. But it's like the point being, it's like impossible unless you have a like something to listen to. And I feel like a lot of the newer artists these days don't have that catalog yet. We have a lot of debut albums coming out this year, so I feel like everyone we're talking about right now got covered, but like when a lot of them first came out, they only had like one or two big songs, which made it hard for people to like them. And then why they got bigger later is because they finally had a debut album, and then they had that number one song that they like attached to their debut album. You know, I think that's what happened to Jack Harlow. Like, I honestly didn't like Jack Harlow that much. He had a catalog, but he didn't have like mainstream music. And then he had that "What's Popping" song with the remix. Even then, I liked it I liked it enough, but only when his debut album came out, I listened to the "What's Popping" remix again. I'm like, okay, I kind of like this, and then I dug deeper into his catalog, and because he had such high volume and high quality stuff. And like, you know, like some people might not be rap fans, but I personally like the intricacies of like some rappers like lyricism, and he was one of those people where I'm like, I can definitely appreciate that, and I became a diehard fan right after that. But it was like a slow burn because when he was like a new artist, he only had like one big song, and I was like, I don't know how to judge this properly. You know what I mean? But yeah. Cut me off because I feel like I ramble.
Sorry, I'm always inclined to let my guests speak. You know what I'm
Yeah, for sure.
Because you know more about music than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of these people, but I don't make music. So if you want to talk, I let you talk, man. You're the expert compared to me. But my pick for I agreed with you. I think Olivia Rodrigo will win. It'd be crazy if she doesn't win. Like that it's kind of an obvious pick, but like my personal favorite is Baby Keem. Baby Keem, I felt like definitely the best new hip hop artist for sure, and just like it was very memorable the way he did like the comeback with Kendrick Lamar. Like he's Kendrick Lamar's cousin. Like obviously this is like Kendrick Lamar's prodigy on the scene. Like everyone has a prodigy. Like Eminem had 50 Cent, Dr. Dre had Eminem, Jay-Z has Kanye. It's every like Lil Wayne had Drake. Has Drake had a really like distinct
I think he was
prodigy?
trying to make The Weeknd his prodigy, and it didn't work.
I know, yeah,
Yeah.
but like I don't think he deserves to like get that. You know what I'm saying?
Who's
The
the
Weeknd's
OVO guy? Nas is no.
the party
isn't-
next door
Party Next Door is.
was supposed to be at one point, but yeah, he's never really.
They all got screwed. People like notoriously have been like tried as the protege, and then they never work out.
Because he has Nicki too as like the twin with Wayne. But anyways, I think that for Kendrick Lamar to go down as one of the greatest of all time, Kendrick Lamar needs a good protege, and it seems like he featured on 2 Baby Keem songs. It seems like this is his choice, and I think it's a good choice. I think Baby Keem is a really innovative, like interesting style. I think it's not about lyrics always; it's about his sound, like you said. Like some people care about how an artist sounds. I am one of those people, and Baby Keem just be like, it's just like this flow. It comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're saying, but I fuck with it, man. I really fuck with it. It's fucking fire. I don't know. It's just like the energy that he can bring to songs. It's on like a Kendrick energy level. Like Kendrick's obviously the good lyricist, but that's like why it's a good match because like his prodigy was never gonna be like better than him lyrically. That's why it's hard too for like Eminem sometimes to have like too many prodigies because he's just gonna outshine them. But I feel like Baby Keem's a very good compliment to Kendrick. It brings like this fun side out of Kendrick. And like being Kendrick Lamar's prodigy, I'm sorry, but that's like some GOAT level shit. Like this is he's gonna go down as one of the best of all times. And now
for sure.
you got his cousin on the scene who's looking like he's gonna have a long career too. It's a really innovative project that he put together.
Yeah, I mean everything you said, like I've heard that as well. The only reason I didn't pick him is because I think I've listened to that one song they came out with recently together, and that's it. So like I feel like I'm not informed enough on his music to be able to pick him, but I have heard all the things that you just said in terms of him being like a good counterpart to Kendrick and him being the protege of sorts. And I also recently found out they were cousins. So small world in the music industry, I guess.
Okay, guys, we're trying to give you some streamlined content. So for the rest of the episode, I'm gonna announce the entries. We're both gonna give our prediction and our favorite, and we're just not gonna give any explanation whatsoever, so that we can get through enough stuff. Okay, best pop vocal album: Justice by Justin Bieber, Planet Her by Doja Cat, Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish, Positions, Ariana Grande, Sour, Olivia Rodrigo.
Why did they bring Ariana Grande into this?
Favorite and prediction. Don't say anything else.
I think Sour is my prediction. I think Justice is my choice.
Happier Than Ever is my prediction, and Sour is my choice. No, wait, the other way around.
Thanks, bro.
Sorry. Sour is my prediction. Sour is my prediction. Sour is my prediction, but Happier Than Ever is my choice. Okay, moving on.
Word.
Okay, best dance electronic music albums.
Same deal for me, at least. I don't know.
I know this one a little bit, but I'll just quickly say that I would be a fan of Marshmello, Illenium, or Major Lazer. No, Marshmello or Illenium winning, but I don't know enough either.
Okay. I didn't know Major Lazer was still making music.
Yeah.
Because it's like a trio, right? I thought it was a trio.
Best rock song? I don't think that's really... Yeah, I'm not...
Yeah, it's not... I don't know anything about that, really.
I see Paul McCartney. I would like that. Best rock album.
Oh, the Weezer song? The All My Favorite Songs? That would be my pick. Sorry.
Okay.
That's it. Just because I know it, and it's pretty catchy.
That's fine. That's why I gave you your own list. So
Got you. Yeah.
Alternative music. Oh, Halsey. I predict, and I double down on Halsey for best alternative music album.
I would go with that. The other ones I've heard bits and pieces, but not too many.
She's so much better than the rest of this category. In fact, she should have honestly been in some of the top categories. I liked her album.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, we're gonna skip 17 and 18 R&B song. I'm gonna double down on Leave the Door Open. Best R&B song. Definitely gonna double down.
I think I would actually. I think I'm gonna double down on that as well.
I think that album's gonna win Grammys next time.
I definitely agree.
It's just a song right now.
They missed the cutoff.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks.
But they'll be there next year. Okay. Best R&B album. My prediction is just H.E.R. So I'll double down on H.E.R.
Leon Bridges, though, I feel like there's potential there. I don't listen to much her. That's my only thing.
Okay.
I'll just double down on Leon Bridges.
Okay. Rap performance. I don't know if I saw these, so I don't know if I could say.
I didn't watch any of them.
I feel like Family Ties should win something just based on the song choices.
I think Up will win. I think.
Yeah.
I don't really like. It's catchy, but I don't like it. The Way Too Sexy song. It's really catchy. I just don't like it that much.
That'd be funny if it won. Okay. The melodic rap performance. I hope that I like Industry Baby the best, but I feel like Doja Cat will win that because if it's performance, I bet she looked hot. So.
The performance. I actually watched the Industry Baby performance.
Was it good?
I thought it was pretty good. Depending, I don't know how the Grammys are doing their voting. If they're very like conservative, then they might not pick Industry Baby. But like, I'm gonna double down on Industry Baby.
Okay. Best rap song. Okay, this should be important.
Wait. Hold on. Let me backtrack real quick. Which is the song of Doja Cat's that's blowing up on TikTok?
I don't know.
If it's that song, I'm changing my answer. But if
It could be.
if it's not that, I'm gonna just stick with Industry Baby.
Probably is that song, honestly. Probably is.
That's rough. I'm gonna stick with Industry Baby on this one.
Okay. Best rap song, Bath Salts by DMX, Jay-Z. Best Friend by Sweetie, Doja Cat. Family Ties, Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar. Jail, Kanye, Jay-Z. My Life, J. Cole, 21 Savage. Ooh. Okay. I would say my favorite was Family Ties, Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar. Favorite song of the year. And I would say that my prediction is Jail, Kanye and Jay-Z.
I'm gonna double down on Jail. I think it's interesting how they didn't. This is specifically the. I think this is specifically the Jay-Z version.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting choice, but I think that will garner the right amount of attention to win.
Why, you like the DaBaby one better?
No, I don't.
Then why is it interesting?
I was just thinking it's interesting that they had to like manually pick which version, and they didn't just give credit to both.
The two of them getting back together on a song is so historic and iconic.
That's what I'm saying.
That like it just has to win a Grammy.
That was
like,
so
even
exciting.
though the Kendrick and the Baby Keem song.
Well, see, that's what I was complaining about earlier. Like the Baby being on the album is not like as personal as having Jay-Z on the album. You know what I mean?
But I don't count part 2 as on even part of the album.
But it is though. That's the thing. That's what
you don't have to listen to it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't pick it as my album. But yeah, I'm doubling down on Jail.
Best rap album. Okay, this is one that we can give feedback on because this is probably the category I care about most. Best rap album: The Off Season by J. Cole, Certified Lover Boy, Drake, King's Disease 2, Nas, Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler the Creator, Donda, Kanye West.
I think Donda will win because I think objectively everyone understands that Certified Lover Boy was meant to get streams. Mm-hmm. But it's not like an iconic album in the grand scheme of all of the hip hop culture. That being said, I really did like the Tyler the Creator album, and I like the visuals he had associated with it. But I'm still gonna double down on Donda as my redemption for roasting him in the previous thing. So yeah, doubling down on Donda. But if I was allowed a second choice, I would pick the Tyler the Creator thing. I'm sorry, but the Drake album was pretty garbage. I did not like it that much.
Okay, so this is when my prediction gets a little different. So if Donda wins the overall album of the year, my prediction is that they're actually going to give rap album of the year to Drake. And that's because like Donda is basically like a gospel album. It's like transcends hip hop. But I feel like in the lane of rap, actually, Drake had the best rap album of the year, even though Kanye had the best like overall album of the year. Like because I don't think Donda deserves both. But I think it does deserve for some reason the other title. And Drake. Like, CLB was huge. It was a huge deal. It was actually a huge deal. Like, it was giant.
It was huge,
People
but...
listen to it way more than Donda.
Sure, but that's...
Culturally more important.
I don't think it's culturally more important.
But like,
I have
not culturally more important.
But that's why I'm saying... So here's my thing. I know the Grammys has been going through this thing where they're like people are like fighting them on the way that they pick their nominees or something.
Mm-hmm.
They've claimed to fix it, to be more oriented towards like whatever categories, like specific like culture. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
you don't want like a bunch of random white dudes that don't listen to hip hop music to be making the decision for like hip hop music, you know? So they've claimed to fix that sort of thing, like across the board. And if they did fix it, I think they would pick Donda. I'm sort of thinking of it in that sense as well,
Yeah.
in terms of predictions.
More than likely, though, I'm wrong. Donda won't win Album of the Year, but it will win Rap Album of the Year.
That
would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. And that's also my personal favorite pick, by the way.
Which one?
Donda.
Yeah, I agree with it. I think I think we like it for the same reasons as well. But there's way too many pop and indie pop artists with new albums that I don't think, you know, on any level, I don't think what's it called? Unfortunately, I don't think it would compete with those, especially because there's so many. And it looks like Positions was on this list. I think we saw earlier that like I didn't even know Ariana Grande was even in the running for anything this year. But
yeah, her album was more low key, and I think that was intentional.
I don't think it was low key at all. I thought it was huge, and
not compared to these other damn artists like.
Well, it was so long ago. It must have been like right by the cutoff date.
Oh yeah, it was just a while ago.
Because it was like that's what I meant. I was like it didn't register to me that all of this could have happened in the same time period.
Yeah, but I don't think it was on the scale that Thank You Next was.
Well, it was like a follow-up album to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it did really well, like even compared to the Thank You Next album. I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I remember looking at it and being like, "That's a lot for like," or like you wouldn't have thought of it, you know, when it first happened. But yeah.
Okay. I looked ahead. I don't see any other categories I like. So do you have any closing remarks on the Grammys?
I'll probably only watch the highlight reels and the performances, I guess. But yeah, do better Grammys. I don't know.
All right, guys. Hey, and I don't know when it's gonna be out, but this was just like a fun episode. Me and Blase also recorded a more serious episode, and you guys should check that out when I release it because that shit was fire. But this was hella fun, man. Actually, this was like way more of like a fun vibe. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like there's a bunch of people who are gonna like this more for some reason than the cool interview. But,
yeah, I'm glad we got to like, you know, have that tangent as well.
This is also probably the most clickbaity interview I've ever done. But fuck it, like
that's what's up.
We also had the deepest one ever. All right, peace.
All right, see you. Thank you for having me.
Yo, peace out, boys.